Hey dude, thanks for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be talking about the stocks that you should be purchasing and or looking at possibly purchasing to add to your portfolio, or if you plan on starting to invest. These are some great stocks to start investing in. And I'm going to talk about ones that are more risky and that have more upside potential and more possible gains, as well as some just that you should pretty much be investing because they are great prices, and some maybe possible price points to be looking at for the future, about when there are going to be some great prices opposed to what they are looking at right now. This way it gives you a little bit of options between of how you want to play it. What I would probably do is be more on the safe side, invest in these stocks that are bigger stocks that have a lot of money and might not grow as fast or as much over as these other more riskier side of stocks. However, at least if you do 75% on the steady side and 25% on the kind of more risky, it kind of will balance itself out and make it an overall pretty solid portfolio. But we'll go, we'll get into that in just a second. So without making this any longer than it needs to be, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my phone up right here so you can take a look at my screen, see what I'm looking at, and to help you better look at the companies that we're about to talk about. Okay, so as you can see, this is my phone screen right here, and what we're going to look at are the stocks, pretty much first that are going to be the top stocks to look at, that are the more solid stocks, that are great prices, that are down, and overall could see definitely a better outcome in the next couple of quarters. Maybe not the first, let's say let's say for the next at least 3 to 4 quarters, but after that you could possibly see some decent returns, if not sooner. Just trying to be, I like to be more conservative and then hopefully get better news later. But overall, I like to just try to see and kind of plan it out in that way. Kind of thinking it's gonna be longer than what it'll actually take. It could be longer than that, but that's just where I kind of see them being. And the first stock is gonna be Facebook. So Facebook, I've talked about several times throughout my videos. I love Facebook, mostly because of how much cash they have. Cash is king, especially in this type of situation. They overall produce a online product, and they get paid for their services, through advertising, and they keep increasing those prices to advertise, and more businesses are on Facebook. Pretty much everyone's on Facebook as far as advertising, all of e-commerce. E-commerce is booming right now too, which all leads to more money for Facebook to advertise. It's just a cycle, and overall Facebook is at the very forefront of it, and is what kind of the company that you want to be on their side, even if you don't agree with what they do with the information or how they work with it. If you just want the piece of the pie, Facebook is going to be the company to go with. Overall, we're going to do a quick overview. So as far as the stock market's closed today, but overall, I want to look at the week. Went up only 2.97%, up $5, and the month up $22.08. Again, for almost the past, I would say 2-ish weeks, especially since that dip, it's been going up. 3 months though, it's down almost 20%, and the year it's barely up 0.42%. So it's basically at where it was a whole year ago. So if you can think about this in a way, think of this gives you an opportunity to invest and where it was a year ago, and you can see where it was. It was almost at the peak at $223. That right there is just a great return when it gets back to where it's at. Now I can't say for sure how long it'll take them to get back to their top, but overall it is a great price to purchase it at. I would prefer, if I could have bought it more down here around the 150 point, but overall it is a great entry point. Even if there is a double bottom in the market and it does go back down to $150 long term, I don't think Facebook would take as long as some other companies just because of their position, but that right there would be a great stock as far as one of the first ones to purchase. The second one here is Apple. This is probably not a surprise. A lot of people, even if I'm not mistaken, I just read that Warren Buffett is also investing even more in Apple. He bought some Apple shares, and now I believe he's buying even more, making it a huger position. And Apple overall, similar to Facebook, is that they have a huge amount of cash, just a lot of cash sitting there. And so something like this happens, or with this, it doesn't really matter. They still can spend money. They still can push out ideas, products, pay their people, and do what they need to do. I know that a lot of companies, even then, stopped. I don't know if they laid off a ton of people, but I know that I think they're about to reopen the biggest store in Germany or something like that. Overall, it seems like it's going to get a little bit better, but I'm not even concerned about that because of how much cash they had off to the side. And they just released their new budget iPhone, which is a smart move in some form. Overall, people are getting these $1,200 stimulus checks, and guess what? People love to spend the money, especially if they didn't have to work for it. So I bet a lot of people are going to spend that money on the new iPhone. And overall, their iPhone sales may not have been doing as well as it used to be, but this is just one of those times is that overall, not a big deal with the whole economy and what's going on. Still a ton of growth potential. And to kind of look at their charts, let's see, the 1 week up 5%, 1 month 13%, 3 months down 11% in a year. Still up, they did a ton, 39%. So in that case, they're not close to Facebook. But as far as their potential to grow, it's still ridiculous. So at close to $324, 20 something, $27 is close to be where their highs were. I don't expect Apple to take that much longer to get back to where they need to be. But right there is the second stock that I would add to my portfolio, especially right now at this price. I would like for it to obviously be a little bit lower. You can say that about every stock. You know, maybe a little under about 250. It'd be a great entry point, but even right now it's great, and they pay dividends, which is amazing. They just started doing that. So another company that I want to talk about as far as the third company to kind of invest in that's a great price is going to be McDonald's. That's a company that I thought a long time ago would be going down and decrease with all kind of like trying to be healthy and the next, you know, everyone just trying to eat better and preservatives and GMOs and just all this stuff going on. Thought they would decrease, and I think it was about 3 years ago. I was like, there's no way they're gonna go up. And to this day, they're one of the steadiest charts. Even though, again, take away this whole pandemic thing, one of the steadiest charts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at it real quick. As far as like the week, they're up only nearly 2%. 1 month, 37%. 3 months, still down 11%. Year down 4%. So like I said, if you bought it like a year ago, you're actually getting it 4% less. But that chart, again, up until pretty much this point, it has the growth potential is, or the growth is crazy, and just the potential is still there. And people think that they're in the burger business. They're really in the real estate business. They own so many corners. It's not even funny. That land, most of them are rented, or rented leased. I don't know how that kind of works, but rented out to the people that own those McDonald's as far as the franchises. So they're getting paid from that. They're a money-making machine. Even if they stopped with, you know, serving food, they could still sell that land for so much money. It's not even funny. So that is one that I think is a great purchase, especially at the current price. Even it's still down 11, almost 12% from 3 months ago, and as far as a year ago, down nearly 4%. Great price, and they do pay great dividends. So that is definitely another company I would add to the portfolio. So now I'm starting talking about the more risky stocks as far as what to look at, but also have some of the most highest potential as far as earnings and profits that you could potentially gain. But some of these, and honestly a lot of these, I would be very careful about, and I would do your research on every single stock that you're going to purchase, between kind of how much money that they have, what they kind of burning through, what they're doing right now to save and earn money. These are all key things that you want to do before you purchase any stock, but especially now, and especially these a couple of stocks here. So the first one is going to be ones that I've talked about in my past videos. It's pretty much, it's more of like the kind of the category is going to be airlines and cruise ships. So overall, like Norwegian cruise lines, they are a great price. If you look into a week, up 2%, 1 month 51%, 3 months they're down 79%, 1 year down 78.4%. 5 down 77.61. Now a lot of these they're talking about even not necessarily Norwegian, but just potential bankruptcies and just stuff that's not good for the company, especially how long this pandemic is going to last for and how much longer. I know Trump announced a plan of kind of reopening up things, but these are still things we have to consider about how long and how impacted these companies are going to be. So that's just one thing. Is Norwegian Cruise Line, even Carnival Cruise Line is another one. Overall, very similar charts. Pretty much every single one is pretty much the same. Now, the potential of buying them at $12, I mean, as far as Carnival, and they going up to almost $50 is a huge upside potential. But pretty much with any of these stocks, I would pretty much imagine if you lost them and making sure you're okay with that. If you're okay with losing, if you invested $200, losing that $200, but have the upside potential to get $1,000, just make sure you're okay with that, and also do more research. I did my research when I purchased these companies. I felt comfortable losing that money. I had no problem with it because of the potential it had, and I diversified my portfolio not into just one company but into several, as well as again with the airlines such as Boeing. Boeing I'm not really concerned about, especially with their government contracts. I also have American Airlines. I bought them at a little bit of a higher price, $13.83, but still a great price from where they were at. And then another one is going to be Save, which is Spirit Airlines. And overall, just potential of where they could be. Now, you should not purely ever base a stock based on their price and where they could be again. And this is going to take several years. This is one thing you want to take into consideration. It's not going to be quick money. You could probably see a decent growth between 10 and 20% at its current price of where it's going to be at. So anywhere between, let's say, $1 and let's say $3, depending on, I know there's some airlines that are $30 right now, and some cruise lines that are like $20, $30. So take that into consideration depending on which one you want to purchase. But overall, that right there are things that you want to consider in the next kind of 6 months to a year, a 10 to 20% increase from the current price. But to get back to where they were at, we're talking, for me, I'm thinking closer to about 5 years, both for the airlines and the cruise industry. But these are kind of companies that you definitely want to look at as far as having some high potential, but always manage your risk. I say do a combination of some. Buy some McDonald's, Facebook, Apple, McDonald's, even Dollar General, stuff, companies like that, NVIDIA. Put in these more solid companies that I even haven't talked about, but some that I'm definitely looking at, and kind of good recommendations for people that are looking to invest right now. And that's pretty much it for the video. Just always do your research. Make sure, again, don't always listen to me. Look at other YouTubers. Look at, read up on articles about it, and just do your research. But also know that there is a risk, but there's also a lot of upside potential, and you just have to base on your situation, how much money you have set aside, how much you want to invest, and kind of where you can see this going. So I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and if you guys have any comments, please leave them below, and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one.